Revelation, the book by St. John the Divine, reveals how Jesus practiced yoga. Revelation was thought to be written by St. John the Elder, though some still believe it was St. John the Apostle, around 95 to 96 in the Common Era. For many, it is a mysterious book heavy in symbolic language that most find difficult to interpret. But for those that have a history of its symbolism, rooted in beliefs that go back possibly hundreds or thousands of years before Christianity, it is relatively easy to understand. Revelation has 22 chapters, and it is essentially a teaching in Kundalini Yoga if you understand the symbolism. To help you see it briefly, I've divided it into 6 sections for you. The first chapters, 1 through 4, have to do with St. John's vision of the throne room. The 7 churches are connected to the 7 chakras, and the movement into the throne room is connected to when St. John moves into the crown chakra and opens the pineal gland where he has a vision. The next 5 chapters are connected to the scroll, lamb, lion, and 4 horsemen. In brief, they introduce the 144,000, which is connected to the number of points or petals of the 7 chakras, and the need to open these correctly are represented to the lamb, the lion, and the teachings of the 4 horsemen of how to do that. The next 3 chapters have to do with the 3 trees and the red dragon. The 3 trees are the 3 pillars in the Kabbalah. They're also known in the East as Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. These chapters teach us about what happens if the 2 trees, Ida and Pingala, are not balanced when the dragon of Kundalini awakens. Next we have the beast and the false prophet. In the book of Revelation, there are consequences illustrated that happen when we fail to protect the Divine Mother or Celestial Virgin, which is essentially the earth and all of the life that lives within her. Why do we not protect her? Because we succumb to the lies of the beast and the false prophet, who are intent on exploiting the earth due to their greed and their thirst for power. Then we have the next chapters representing Babylon and the man on the white horse. Babylon is what happens when we exploit the earth. That creates a whore out of our earth because we have failed to protect her and we have defiled her. The man on the white horse comes to help save the earth. And that man on the white horse, that symbolism predates Christianity and is found in Hinduism with the coming of the Kalki avatar, who is a man on a white horse. The idea here is they help to bring the Divine Mother back to life and balance for life on the earth back into existence. That helps us create the New Jerusalem, or the place of peace. To let you know, Revelations was meant to happen in the time the book was written and talked about the battle between the age of Pisces and the age of Aries. But St. John lets us know that this is a battle for every new age that comes in, which is happening again now between the ideas and teachings and the evolutionary consciousness of those of the age of Pisces and those coming in with the age of Aquarius. Before we reveal the hidden secrets behind the book of Revelation, we need a brief history lesson, because what these hidden secrets reveal is that St. John is using symbolism found in other religions, especially those predating the founding of Christianity. How can this be? How can St. John be so aware of these hidden secrets found in other faiths? Well, St. John knows because in all likelihood, Jesus knew them and taught these secrets to his innermost circle of apostles. How did Jesus learn? Probably he was taught these secrets in the land of Egypt, where his parents took him not too long after his birth. Joseph and Mary, the parents of Jesus, took him to Egypt before a census of the population had started. Why did they have to flee? Because historically, when Romans took a census, they killed the eldest son of the lower classes to reduce the population. King Herod, having heard a child had been born who could threaten his throne in Jerusalem, was particularly keen on killing all recently born elder sons. Why go to Egypt? For one reason. At the time, it was a spiritual and cultural Mecca because of one person, Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great was a Greek who between 334 to 323 BC, at a young age, had conquered territory from Egypt throughout the Mediterranean and into modern-day Iran, Iraq, India, Pakistan, and even parts of Tibet. During his conquest, Alexander brought along people who would document what he was learning from the different societies and cultures he had encountered. Many of these people followed Alexander into Alexandria, a city he founded in Egypt. There in Egypt, these people blended their cultures, philosophies, religions, methods of artistic expression, and all known knowledge at the time. Eventually, they even built a massive library to store records of what they knew, the Library of Alexandria. Founded by Demetrius of Phalon, a Greek politician who fell from power and fled to Egypt, the library was known to have housed between 200,000, possibly even 700,000 scrolls or books. The library was then accidentally burned in 48 BC, most likely when Julius Caesar from Rome came to Egypt and set ships in the harbor on fire. After the library burned, many people remained there and were attempting to recreate what they knew. Though we don't know for certain, it might have been that Jesus grew up in this region and was influenced by many of the scholars there. Having been exposed to the wealth of knowledge, it should be no surprise, then, that already at a young age, when Jesus returned to Jerusalem, he was able to teach the elder Jewish rabbis a thing or two. Though much of what Jesus taught the elders and later his apostles was either kept secret or lost throughout the centuries, now in our modern age, we are once again able to understand and reveal the hidden secrets Jesus knew, and St. John has kept hidden within the book of Revelation. What kinds of ideas could Jesus have been exposed to? Apart from the traditional teachings of his Jewish heritage, he may have been exposed to the teachings later found within the Zohar, or Book of Splendor. This book taught the mystical teachings of the Kabbalah. Notice the 3 trees there, or 3 pillars. These mystical teachings were inspired by the prophet Elijah. They are thought to have finally been written down in book form around 70 Common Era by Shimon bar Yochai. The young Jesus may also have been exposed to stories that came from India while in Egypt. Some say he even traveled to India during his late teens and 20s. Stories from India included tales of Krishna or Krishna, a spiritual incarnation or avatar or anointed one of God. Having lived thousands of years before Jesus, Krishna was known to have participated in a great end times battle known as the Kurukshetra. This Armageddon-like battle was written into some of India's most sacred texts, written down thousands of years before Jesus' time, the Mahabharata and the Bhagavad Gita, that come from the spiritual tradition we now call Hinduism. As we shall see, signs point to the fact that Jesus and also St. John may have known about these books or teachings as well. If it is true that Jesus went not only to Egypt, but to India, he may have even been exposed to the teachings of the Buddha, who lived 500 years before Jesus, and he may have trained extensively in practices such as meditation and even the disciplines of yoga. Enjoy this work? Then become a patron. If you do, you will get copies of charts, books, and an inside look into our process and what's next. You can also visit the soultospirit.com website, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell for alerts, like, comment, and share. And as always, I like to give credit where it's due. The video was created and narrated by myself, Dr. Lisa Love. Videos, music, and sound effects were purchased for use from storyblocks.com. Many photos were purchased from 123rf.com. Other photos came from various places on the internet for the purpose of educational use. Thanks for watching.